Welcome to Heart of the Matter, the programme which is committed to telling you the truth about who must do what and why if the Palestine problem, the cancer at the heart of international affairs, is to be cured before it consumes us all. My guest this week is Abdul Bari Atwan. He is the Palestinian editor-in-chief of Quds Al Arabi, which is published here in London and is the only Arab newspaper free to criticize the regimes of the existing Arab order. Abdul Bari is respected and admired by many in the mainstream Western media, but its broadcasting institutions, including the BBC, allow Israeli leaders to veto his participation in their programs. Abdul Bari Atwan, welcome to Heart of the Matter, and thank you for making the time to be with us. Now, you are the only executive Arab editor in the whole Arab world, I know you're here in London, who is free to tell it like it is, to speak his mind. And I believe you have a strange combination of death threats and yet bribes to shut you up.
Yes, it is strange, you know. I'm here in London simply because I want to speak my mind. I want to be free. I want to express our grievances. Definitely because of these attitudes, I am unwanted in the Arab world. They hate me. I'm talking about the officials. Because I am publishing everything, I am writing articles calling for democracy, human rights, fight against corruption. So it seems I am in a minefield. That's why I received this death threat from Arab governments.
So the death threats are from Arab governments, not from the Israelis or Mossad?
It is from Arab government.
But you've also had bribes to shut you up?
Yeah, yes. You know, Arab governments are experts in bribing journalists, and they couldn't silence me by death threats. So they came back with lucrative offers, and they sat in your place here in my office and said, Abdul Bari, listen, we know you are facing a lot of problems. What about 10 millions, honestly, 10 million sterling pounds? And, you know, we don't want you to praise us, just to ignore us, just not to write anything which is negative about us. We don't want any favors from you. This is the only favor. If you accept it, you will be in much better situation. But I said to them, thank you very much, I appreciate that, I will think about it, and we will be in touch. And that's it.
Okay, well, that sets up really the first question I want to ask you. I think we can say that Zionism's success to date is due only 50% to its own efforts, to its unlimited funds, to its brilliant organization, to its ruthless playing of the obscenity of the Nazi Holocaust as a blackmail card to silence criticism of Israel. But I think we can say that the other 50% of its success is due to the divisions and the impotence of the Arab regimes. Now, I often say, with Arab regimes and elites as enemies, Zionism hasn't needed friends. Will you please explain, as simply as you know how, the reason for this Arab impotence?
So, yeah, the regimes here, you know, it is corrupt regimes, dictatorship. It is dynasty of corruption. Those people, they have money. They want to enjoy themselves, and they are exploited by their entourage. So they are listening to the Zionists, and they are scared of the Zionists because they are scared of the United States, which is supporting Zionists. But you know, they are not impotent. Imagine, you know, Arab countries are receiving now more than $600 billion every year as oil revenue. It is a huge wealth. It can change the whole world. But they don't want to use it.
All right, let's just take the historical perspective. Despite rhetoric to the contrary, isn't the truth that the Arab regimes never ever intended to fight Israel to liberate Palestine?
I think most of the Arab countries, most of the Arab regimes in particular, yes, they didn't have the urge to fight Zionism. And it was rhetoric, and they were not serious, and still they are not serious, and that's why Israel actually celebrated its 60th birthday.
Abdul Bari, in the analysis of Khalid al-Hassan, who's now dead, God rest his soul, but was the leading intellectual on the right of the Palestine Liberation Movement, Fatah's man. He said that he thought Britain implant a Jewish colony in the Arab heartland was because knowing what to do about it would be such a big problem for the Arab regimes. It would keep them divided, and that would enable Britain to impose its will on the region. Do you think that was a major strategic consideration in Western imperialism's thinking?
Yes, I agree with late Khalid al-Hassan that when Britain and the Western countries implanted a Jewish state on the heart of the Arab world, they wanted to divide and rule. They wanted the Arab to be weakened, the Arab to be busy with this entity which is implanted in their hearts there. And they wanted also to export the Jewish problems to the Arab themselves. And instead of actually making it a Western problem, they want to make it an Arab problem. And they succeeded. And because of Israel now, you can see there is a cutoff between the north of the Arab world and the south of the Arab world. You can see Arab are divided. You can see, the American also adopted the same British strategy.
Khalid Hassan also said to me that the Arab regimes didn't want to betray us, but they felt they had no choice. Do you think that's a fair comment?
I think it is fair to say that the Arab regimes actually were very sympathetic to the Palestinian and to the Palestinian cause. But the problem is, because they are cowards, because they are scared of the United States, because they don't want to fight, they want to enjoy themselves, just to, they have a huge wealth, and they want to use it for their own personal advantages and for family advantages. So they, let down the Palestinian and also their own people. If you go to the Arab world, to the Arab masses, they still want to fight to liberate Palestine, but the governments are not allowing them to do so.
Is it not part of the truth of history that when the Palestine file was closed by Zionism's first fait accompli in 1948-49, that actually the regime shared the same hope as Zionism and the Western powers, that file would remain closed? And could it not also be said that the reason why the regimes actually loathed Arafat was because he came along and with others caused that file to be reopened? Is that a fair interpretation?
It is a fair interpretation. Arafat was a genius. Arafat came out with the Palestinian liberation movement. He did not want the Palestinians to rely fully on Arabs to liberate Palestine. He realized that the Arab regimes are not genuine in their desire to liberate Palestine. They don't want actually to go into that path. So he decided to break the norms by establishing a Palestinian national movement, Fatah. And he actually managed to open the files and to make it Palestinian file, not an Arab file.
And that's why basically the regimes actually loathed him.
Yes, the regime hated him because he was charismatic. He had a vision. Arafat had a vision. He knew that only the Palestinian who should fight the Israelis.